Hi everybody, this is Boogess Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Jada Toys Street Fighter 2 Deluxe Blanka figure. So before we take a look at Blanka, let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories that he comes with. So first up, he comes with his electric thunder effects, and these look great, especially if you get him in the pose like he's getting ready to do it. That looks really awesome, and I love that they can stand on their own. The way it fades from this translucent plastic into the yellow, that looks awesome. Jada Toys did a really good job on both of these effects. They look great in hand. Up next, he comes with a set of fisted hands. Up next, he comes with a set of open hands. Up next, you get this standard teeth gritting head sculpt, and I think this looks really good, but I do prefer the next head sculpt more. And finally, he comes with this angry head sculpt. I love how this one looks. I think they did a really good job sculpting the expression, like the way you can see a bit of his gum line above the teeth right here, and the texturing on the tongue. That looks really good, and if you look, they actually did a different color for his gums than his tongue. It's a lighter color up here, so they actually painted that differently than down here. So that looks really awesome. I also love the paint and the sculpt to the hair. It looks really good. The red has this orangish color painted over top of it, and it brings the details out really well. That just looks very, very awesome. I especially love the way they engineered this head sculpt. With the back piece of the hair, it is a separate piece that's glued on, and it's completely hollow on the inside. And that allows for some really good range of motion on this. I think they said this was the hardest figure they've made in the line so far, and I can see why, but it really paid off. Like, the articulation on him is not hindered at all. When I saw this hair, I thought it might be hindered, but it's not. The way they engineered this was just really brilliant on their part, and it works very effectively. So yeah, Jada Toys did a really good job on both head sculpts and the way they engineered them. So taking a look at the rest of the figure, he has some really awesome sculpted details. The muscles look really good, and if you look, he actually has this darker color painted over top of him, or maybe it's like airbrushed. But he actually has variation in between all of his muscles. Like right here where the vein's sticking out on his shoulders, you get some variation there. You get variation in between the muscles here. I didn't realize that he would have so much paint variation over top of his body. It just looks really good, and it brings the sculpt of his muscles out very nicely. One thing that I think is really cool about the sculpted chest hair right here, not only that it has the orange color painted over top of it, but that they actually sculpted it all the way back to the joint up here, the diaphragm joint. A lot of companies with details like this, they would just stop it right here, you know, where you're mostly going to have it posed. But they actually sculpted that all the way back in there, and I appreciate that. They really didn't have to, but they did, and I really like that. You also get some really cool textures to his pants here, and you get some variation too in the wrinkles that bring the details out really nicely. This figure has so much more paint variation than I thought he would. You get the sculpted, I suppose that's supposed to be where his pants are torn, and that looks pretty good. I will say that his knee joints, his knee and elbow joints are a different color than the rest of his body. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it's a different material. I'm assuming it's so the joints won't wear down over time. It's a sturdier material. It's really not noticeable unless you have lighting on it like I have, but I did notice that once I started this review. The hair here on his shins is sculpted really nicely, and you get the variation over top of it like the rest of his hair has. I will say I kind of wish these were glued down because they're always shifting around his shackles, but I love the paint variation to them. They're cast in a brown color and have silver dry brushed over top of them to make them look rusted, and that looks really good. And then he even has pretty detailed feet, like the variation in color in between each of his toes and the toenails. That looks really good. Jada Toys did a very, very awesome job on him. He's a really big and bulky figure, and he is articulated so nicely. You know, I never really doubted Jada, but the articulation on him is crazy. So let's go ahead and go over that now. So he has a double hinge neck that can look up all the way. As I said, because the way the hair is sculpted, it doesn't limit the articulation at all. So he can actually look up all the way. He can also look down all the way and move his head side to side. It doesn't really move around that far, but I am really impressed by the movement up and down there. He has shoulders that can move all the way out, which, if I had one complaint with this figure, it's that I wish he had a little more clearance in the butterfly joint here. That way he could move his arm out. I'm afraid the plastic might get chewed up. It hasn't so far, but I am a little bit scared of that. So the right side doesn't seem to move out as much as the left side here. He does have really nice butterfly joints. He has swiveled the bicep, double jointed elbows that can bend in that far. He has wrist swivels that move side to side and up and down. It is a bit stiff, you can hear it clicking right there, but if you put a little bit of force into it, you can move it. He has a ball jointed waist and diaphragm that can move back all the way, and he can crunch forward very, very far. I forgot to mention that this is a really soft diaper piece, kind of similar to what McFarlane uses. And man, he can crunch forward really nicely. He can move side to side just a little bit, and side to side really nicely here at the waist. The waist also has enough movement that you can get him moving all the way around. He has ball jointed hips that can do a complete split. He can kick forward all the way. He can kick back all the way. He has a really nice thigh swivel, double jointed knees that can move all the way back. He actually has a shin swivel. It's kind of hidden because of the shackles and the hair right here, but he does have shin swivels that move side to side, ankles that can move down all the way, up just about all the way, and a really nice ankle rocker. So yeah, Jada Toys did a very awesome job on this figure. The articulation is top notch. For a big bulky figure like this, the articulation really surprised me. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up, here he is next to Ryu, which is a regular figure, and Blanka is much larger than him. Blanka is a really bulky figure. Here he is next to Chun-Li. Here he is next to M. Bison. Here he is next to Ken. I'm pretty sure this is the Player 2 edition Ken. Here he is next to Dhalsim. And finally, here he is next to Guile. So overall, I would highly recommend picking this up because I think Jada Toys did a stellar job on this. They just went above and beyond in every department on this figure. The articulation is amazing. Like, I am so surprised at how well articulated he is. He is a big figure, but the articulation isn't hindered in any way. I have had a ton of fun posing him around and doing pictures. He is just articulated really nicely. I love the sculpt of him, like the textures on the pants and the muscles, and even the paint on him is really awesome. The variation in between the muscles, like that airbrush kind of look, that looks fantastic. So yeah, Jada Toys did a good job on this figure in every aspect. Another thing that I wanted to mention was the price point. I think, if I remember right, this is only $5 more than a regular release. Nowadays, a lot of deluxe figures are pretty pricey, but I think Jada Toys kept the price on this really reasonable and gave us a lot for not that much more. So yeah, I really appreciate that too from Jada. So yeah, definitely don't miss out on this figure. It is very awesome. So, that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.